You can't have that vast an array of things done without it coming from all angles, constant. When he dictated to whoever was typing for him, and this is for publication, yes, he would have a notebook, which had been written and rewritten with notes on the notes on top of the notes. But for the most part, he would just dictate it as you're trying to keep up with him. And by the time he got to the end of the sentence, even though he's about to start the next sentence, he would alter the start of the paragraph he'd just typed. So he's already changing what he's changed 14, 15 times in his notepads. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but he did a mural down in London decades ago and then turned up decades later knocking at the door, and it turned out to be an embassy now, and the security guy went, yes. And you know, Alasdair, hello, I believe there's a mural by Alasdair Gray. Yes. I'm Alasdair Gray and I want to change something. And just got in and painted on it. I mean, I'd love to think that was true because that's pure Alasdair.
Because the other thing about Alasdair was obviously he never gave a fig about budgets and timetables and all this kind of stuff, because the only thing he was interested in was making the work as good as he could make it. He would go into penury quite happily because it meant that the drawing was right. So that utter dedication to serving his idea or trying to express what he was trying to do as best he possibly could, there was half a dozen times in the time that I knew him where he utterly ran out of money.
He was working with Scott Campbell doing the screen prints, and as he did, he often changed his mind about things. If he's doing the drawings, that's okay. He can just get a bit of Tipp-Ex out, they can cover it over, or even just get another bit of paper and draw on that and put that in and so on, and that's okay. But if you're doing an edition of screen prints, that's a huge undertaking. So there were a few situations where we basically had to re-edition the whole thing, time-consuming, expensive, and so on. And I think it was me that had the idea of getting him to do the colour proofing digitally. And surprisingly, he took to it. He was working with Murray, who would just block in the colours wherever else they wanted them and then tweak them to do a printout. And that printout was a guide for Scott to match these colours. Now, that wasn't necessarily the end of it, you know. So Scott would do it to the best of his ability. He'd maybe print so many colours and then Alasdair would look at it, and rather than go to the end and finish it. I mean, I have heard that people wouldn't let him into their houses to get near the pictures in case he sort of started redoing them. So I think that's just a natural inclination that, you know, something was never quite finished. There was always more that you could do to it. So from our point of view, we have to say, look, Alasdair, it's done, it's finished.